Hey everyone, welcome again. This is Justin, Voices for Voices, TV show and podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Whether you're watching, listening, whether you're here in the United States, in the state of Ohio, or in a country, territory, province, somewhere else in the world, we're so grateful to be bringing this show to you, to 90 countries, 900 cities. Uh, 90 countries and territories in 900 cities across this great world on the planet Earth that we're living on at this moment in time. Thank you for all the love and support. We love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to this episode. Just a heads up that we have over 355 episodes. I believe this actually is episode 360 total episodes. It's been quite the journey, and we can't do this without you. So thank you for all the love and support you've given us, both monetarily and mentally, and on the social media platforms, and where you're able to go and subscribe. We ask that you smash that subscribe button, give us a big thumbs up, like, follow, share, comment, reach out if you have an interest in being on a guest on our show. We'd love to have you. We'd love to share your story as well as the stories of uh, each and every one of us across the world. We do have this huge, lofty goal of helping at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And any help is greatly appreciated. Pass it along, word of mouth. We love everyone equally, and we are grateful to be with you. So, uh, as as we grow up, um, I'll talk about myself, and sometimes we get asked, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Or when we're even younger, "What do you want to do when you want to grow up?" Uh, uh, no, do you want to be a fireman, firewoman, policeman, policewoman, uh, a professional sports athlete, uh, an astronaut, cosmonaut, uh, and for me, the answer was clear, and that was I wanted to be an astronaut, and I'm not sure what really piqued my interest in that. I think maybe some of the pictures and photos that I had seen at that time, uh, looking into space, outer space, seeing stars many millions and billions of years ago, that are still shining, uh, different planets, galaxies, and I think that's what probably drew me to wanting to be an astronaut because that would bring me closer to those experiences. So that was my goal. That was something that I wanted to do. And again, not sure at what exact point that turned away. I think part of it had to do with how limited individuals get to actually be astronauts and to go on the missions on the spaceships. And and so there was a space camp for juniors that I forget how this happened. May have been when My family and I went on a vacation when I was growing up, and we went to Cape Canaveral in Florida, just still active with NASA at that point in time. And I don't know if it was a pamphlet, if it was some type of material that I was able to read, and it had to do with there's a space camp for younger kids to, my guess is to pique their interest, see if they might be a fit to go through the program, because to become an astronaut, you don't just show up one day and go, "Oh, I want to be an astronaut," and then the next day you're on the space shuttle and you're ready for a mission. There's months and months and years of practice and training and planning that goes uh, into that process. And I think that's what I saw was this space camp for kids. And then I knew there was a price tag to that. It wasn't free. I can't remember exactly how much it was, uh, comparable to today's, uh, pricing. It would be, less than what it is now. Uh, and so that was a constraint. It wasn't, I didn't come from a royal family or a family that had lots of discretionary income, and that didn't bother me. So I think I just moved on and thinking like, oh, that'd be cool if I would get a chance to do that. Um, and various reasons, so I didn't. No big deal. But I do remember, and I still remember to this day, the different pictures and photos of, again, the stars, the galaxies, other planets, uh, shooting stars, and so many things in the sky. It was just incredible that as a regular person living in a regular town, when we look up into the sky, we're lucky to see some stars. Um, there's certain times of year in years where we're able to see eclipses uh, and some planets are closer than others. And so we get from time to time the ability to see just an absolute teeny tiny fraction of what's out there in the world. And when Elon Musk and SpaceX, one of their goals is to uh, not only make it to Mars, but make it a habitable place for human beings to live on. And so that's the lead in to the episode today. I've talked about dreaming. I've talked about having inner strength and inner courage. We've talked about a lot of those types of things on numerous shows. So we're not going to reiterate as much on that. What I want to really just cover in I guess to me, a basic part of what gives me what gives me some of the strength internally to dream, to know that there was a forget what the I think Fievel, Fieval. I think there was a movie when I was growing up, and there's a song in it uh, titled "Somewhere Out There," where I think they were animated animals, maybe humans. I'm not quite sure. I'm really turning back the clock in my brain, and it's not wanting to turn back. When I'm using the crank to turn it back, and it's not turning back. But in any event, the song "Somewhere Out There," there were two animals or two humans, and they were apart. And the one night they both looked up into the sky, and I think they saw the same stars, the same moon, and that really was like a connection point for the two of them. So while they weren't right next to each other with each other, they were looking up in the sky and looking and seeing the very same thing, obviously from a different location. But when they looked up, they weren't in a different time zone, different part of the world where we know obviously with time changes or time zones, uh, time could be an hour ahead, an hour behind, 2 hours ahead, 2 hours behind. And so they're looking up and seeing the same moon, the same stars, the same sky, and so that came to me. And then I had an experience or an event, I guess you call it. I talked about, the inner strength of their courage. I just said that a minute ago about dreaming and how remarkable this world, the earth is, the sky, the solar system is, and how as I've grown up, some might think I haven't grown up, but uh, as I've grown up, we've had just such an influx of smart devices, meaning a phone or iPad or computer and TV. We have all these screens. And when people are like, oh, yeah, like, you're just dreaming, that'll never happen. Or, where'd you think about that? How'd that come about? Or that'll never happen because that's too far out. There's no way for that to happen. And so I attended an event and had the phone, everybody had their phone put away and was at the event. The amount of time doesn't really matter, but it was yeah, the time doesn't matter. What matters is everybody had their phones turned off, nobody's filming what's happening, or like you go to a concert or go somewhere, at least one person's got their phone up filming. And I will say, the first time I got filmed from an audience was right after I had my mental health crash, and I was at the Miami-Dade uh, college with Professor Eric Terry, and I was able to give like it's like a 5 minute talk to try to inspire. And when I looked out in the audience, there was at least one, at least one handheld smart device that was filming my my talk. I was kind of blown away because it was just a matter of weeks before that I was not sure how I was going to survive. And so then here I was on stage, just being myself, not being somebody else. And there's somebody that thought I was important enough, what I was talking was important enough for them to want to record it. So fast forward to this event. Yeah. So we go in, and again, phones are away. And the event had two things. Number one, it had music, and number two, it had scenes of the sky, the solar systems, the planets, the stars, uh, what looked like to be time travel. And I talked the other day, or the other episode, about not having my blue light blocking glasses with me, and I was able to make it through. Not sure how, but I did. But what I want to talk about this one is how all the phones were put away that nobody had to be told. And so anytime you get the chance to do that, do that. We're we all have a lot going on. We all have a lot of messages, a lot of things that we can do, but that's by example. Big tech and bigger tech of the device owner, the device um, builders who put the smart devices together. Their goal is to have us spend as much time as humanly possible on those devices. Are there safeguards in place? Get that. It's like, oh, it's don't disturb this time. Uh, but in this moment, I was able to listen to some really neat music from a band, a group, and then have these just photos and pictures, and some look kind of like kaleidoscopy where it was like spinning and looks like you're doing time travel, and those things usually would bother me, so I was proud of myself or happy that I was able to get through that, number one. Number two, and this is the biggie, so what this episode's all about is being there without my phone on. I was able to concentrate on nothing else but listening to the music, which it helped by having the band uh, that was playing the music, be a band that I I like right now. And so when I was listening to music, when I was basically looking into the sky and these different, so this wasn't just kind of like a TV screen, it was like an immersive, where it's like you could look up and down and left and right. And it was just incredible. And so what's that have to do with Voices for Voices or mental health? Well, number one, I got through it with no complications of not getting dizzy and not having panic attack. And so that was huge. But the real big takeaway on this is how big the universe really is. How little of that universe do we know? We know a lot of things about planet Earth, but we know less about, getting into outer space and the different layers, stratosphere, and all those and so it was very eye-opening, mind-opening that a little bit like VR, virtual reality, we're able to kind of go on the journey for a little bit. And so it was, I know I'm doing a hard job. I'm not doing the best job of explaining it. But just imagine closing your eyes and just going on a journey, listening to one of your favorite bands, and then having different scenes from outer space and galaxies and moons and planets and asteroids. And it's it was just incredible to do that because going back to my roots of dreaming and what I wanted to do when I grew up with the astronaut deal and where I'm at, and I kind of saw why Elon Musk is so bought into making it to Mars and to have Mars be a place where we can live, humans can live, because the beauty and the splendor of the sky and the galaxy, just everything, it was it was like mind blowing. It was mind blowing, and I, I I don't think I think I know that even though it's been a whole lot of time since I've experienced something like this and haven't had complications mentally and vertigo feelings and that to be able to experience it and the splendidness and the colors, and it's just so incredible that I think that's part of why I dream and why I believe that we can help 3 billion people at least over the course of my lifetime and beyond. Because there were at certain points in that at that event where it showed the planet Earth and then the sun and then the moon and then all around were all these, beautiful stars and galaxies and planets and constellations. It was just so it was just so neat to be there, to have a chance to experience that. And I think it refueled because it blew my mind in a good way. I'm just a teeny part of this whole thing we call not just Earth, but the entire world. There's so much out in space that we don't even know about. It's almost like, where do we start? And so I don't know for sure, but if I were to take a guess, I would think, the planets and those that have been named, that those are maybe the bigger or the biggest planets out of the whole outer space. And I know it's just like mind blowing. It really is. It just gave me just a new, not a new, it just gave me a very appreciative feeling about how big this world is. That it's not just made up of the planet Earth with sea and land. There's so much more out there. So much. And I've taken on it for granted way too many times. That's the part that when we have our smart devices, I mean, heck, we take them to the bathroom when we go. I, I think that that's what, having phones put away. And yes, this was a screen, but it was an immersive. I think they said it was a 12K uh, screen or higher. So it was just the beauty of not having my phone on and to be able just to experience the wide vast array of, again, the stars, the moons, the planets, black holes. And that right there, I know it took me a while to get there, to get here to this point, about 30 minutes in. But it's because of things like that that, yeah, I could have done um, a lot of other things during that time. But I wanted to do that. It was something newer. It was so, so mind-blowing. And to just sit here and think that this is this world is so big. I'm so small. But also gave me the firepower, the fire that burns in my body to want to help as many people as possible. I throw out helping 3 billion or more over the course of my lifetime and beyond. I'd love to help every single person, and even if it's a small way or organization to help, if it's even in just a small way. And so to see that show, to be there, to listen, to see with my eyes, I am grateful to God that I do have eyes that I am able to see, that I do have 2 ears where I am able to listen. And then I was able to just be a spectator and watch and look. And it was just incredible. And so I know one of the intentions of God wanting me to go to this show was to stop thinking so much on my phone, on my devices, but to open up my heart and do the best I can, the best we can to help so many people. Because as we know, we can't take anything with us. When we pass away, we can't take anything with us. And so, what I want to do, what I am doing, what we are doing with Voices for Voices, is the way we can leave a lasting impression, is to leave a lasting legacy, and that's by helping others. And that's how we remain helpful, even when God decides to take us from this earth. And so, if you ever have an opportunity, try something different to expand your mind a little bit, I hope you do it. I did it. It was very inexpensive. To expand your mind outside of the smart devices, expand your mind, because I think that's one of the downfalls that I've had. I still dream. We still dream as an organization. And that's even with the smart devices. But to take ourselves and look at the world around us is just incredibly mind blowing. And that's also I wanted to put this show together as soon as I could because I want those words, those the emphasis on certain words and phrases. I want that to come across in this show because that's truly I remember when I walked in, took my seat, phone off, music and show starting in a planetarium type setting. It was probably one of the most eye-opening things that I've done in a very, very, very long time. And so that to me gives me the optimism to continue to want to grow, to continue to want to dream, no matter what, no matter who says no, no matter what barriers come up, I'm gonna continue to dream. And that show right there, I talked about for 30 minutes or so, it's kind of like if you get the chance to do it, you're able to. It's very inexpensive. Sometimes they're free, these experiences. Keep your eyes and ears peeled. It was really fun. And so because of our solar system, our world, outer space, everything, because it's so vast, and to see how I mean, look at a globe. Just to think how many people live on just Earth. But then think about expanding that and getting higher and higher and higher above the Earth. And then you have the moon and the sun, and then all other planets and galaxies, constellations and stars. You name it. It's just amazing. So give it a try. I know I'm going to use this as much as I can to the positive, because it has truly helped me, truly opened my eyes even more that the world is such a vast and beautiful place that I might as well give it my all to help as many people as possible. I don't need a road named after me. I don't need a statue. Uh, I don't need awards. I don't I don't want any of those. What I want to do is to help people. That's the A1 thing I want to do, because I'm not going to be able to take those awards, the street sign with my name, the naming of a building on a school campus, a scholarship name. All those things are all well and good, but I want to have a greater impact in that. I want to help people, and we are helping people. Thanks to you, your generosity, your support. So let's all celebrate the voices in each and every one of us, no matter how we express that voice. And if you can go ahead and smash that subscribe button, thumbs up, like, follow, share, subscribe. Those are all free things, FREE. They're all free things to do, and they help us get closer and closer to helping those 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. So until next time, this is Justin with Voices for Voices, and we'll talk to you then. Bye bye for now.